shall continue apace with the salient stories. As we say every single week, you really can't make them up. The news makes themselves, doesn't it? The headlines make themselves, and
it does outpace us a bit.
It does, and we're never bored for. I don't know if ever actually, even when we're doing the radio shows and the other bits and bobs, it's too much content.
Yeah.
We shall complain there was too much content. I don't think we're ever going to be bored or hit by a drought. Certainly not a physical drought with the rain we're having down here at the moment, and certainly not for a news drought with. It just keeps on going. It's a gift that keeps on giving, and unfortunately, it's not great news.
Well, it would be nice to have
massively
more
good news,
without doubt.
Wouldn't it just? But then people don't want good news. People don't want to hear good things.
Well, I argue
you don't want to hear.
Like, this is one
you
of the
need
things.
a bit of it.
I've still got all my old MTV collection and all that, right? And I keep watching through my old like VHSs of like just recording random channels and that.
Yeah.
And a lot of news was good.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I mean, even in America, there's some great ones about chili cook-offs and like sheep farmers and like raising houses down in the old Utah and places like that. They used to have fun upbeat. Look, there used to be a script of how to do like a good news broadcast, right? And there's even films made out of it, like Anchorman and things like. What was the one with Jim Carrey? There was one where was it Bruce Almighty? Yeah, where he was a news presenter, where you have to have something light and fluffy. In fact, that's the whole point, isn't it, of Bruce Almighty? Is that he's hating the fact that he has to cover all the light and fluffy stuff, right?
Yeah, you've got to have the dead donkey at the end, haven't you? Every single time you've got to have.
They dropped the dead donkey. That's taken us back a little bit, isn't it? Like
exactly.
That was on TV again recently, actually on Rewind, I think, or something like that.
Wow, that's got to be 90s, late
80s. Wasn't it late 80s into 90s?
May well have been. I
have a feeling because wasn't Thatcher's government but some of the jokes? I can't quite remember.
You couldn't spoof them either, could you? Couldn't spoof them, could you? Blimey.
Well, this is the interesting thing of watching it back on there, especially because they actually give a context at the beginning of each episode of this episode aired in 1992 when John Major said something. I'm saying John Major, it probably was it him? It was him in 92.
It would have been.
Hey, good.
Yeah. 90 to 98 apparently it aired 6 seasons, so just into the 90s. I mean, like shows like that probably. I don't know, they're not going to be the same these days if they ever existed, are they? Well, this is the thing, isn't it? They made great things about bringing back Spitting Image. I think they brought it back online, didn't they? Or was it streamed, YouTube, I think?
Now, I think they did do some sort of one-off or something. Or they did a short series on TV, but it bombed so badly. Something like that. I can't really remember. I mean,
there's no point making it, is there? Imagine what is the point of making a spitting image of PMQs? You might as well watch the real thing,
mate. It's a bit hard to satirise the abduction and trafficking of people. I'm sorry, it's a bit hard to satirise that. There is that. One of the key problems there. It's difficult for anyone to really do. And again, like I say, why with all of this research and with all of the stuff we're talking about here. I'm trying to have a certain amount of uplifting, chat in between the darkness because this stuff is so ridiculously outrageous. There's just so much crazy stuff going on there. So, I mean, was there anything else before we do move on? Was there anything else that you did want to sort of cover?
No, I just think the constant. The constant downfall of the prince formerly known as can't get any worse, can it? Even Charles, King Charles is being brought into it now, isn't he? He's been.
I think we should probably talk a little bit about
not brought into it, as in brought into the scandal, but questions being asked.
What do you mean by that? Look, do you remember? Let's hold up. Let's wind back a second, right? Let's roll right on back. Now, we're both old enough to remember the newspapers with the photos of that greasy, bloody peroxide blonde git next to that bald, greasy, big-eared git. Yeah? And how he was brought in, can everyone be reminded of this? Savile was expressly brought in as a finishing director for Prince Charles's social etiquette. I think that deserves an Emeroo right there. That's
I think it does.
There, man.
That is.
What? Yeah, seriously. And people, I don't know. Again, this is the thing. Like, it's difficult. Like, if you look at, say, something like Podcast of Lotus Eaters, they have a breakfast show now.
Yeah.
In fact, this is what I was thinking. Maybe I should do like, a late breakfast after boat. With some other stories and stuff like that, just smaller nuggets throughout the week. Because, like, this goes back to this. Do people have a short enough memory? His producer, I think, was born 2003 or something.
Yeah.
And this is one of the things I've got to keep reminding myself is, no, I can't expect a lot of people necessarily that active in these mediums right now to be necessarily aware of something that might have happened 20 years before they were even born. Yeah.
Very true. Yeah.
It's difficult being old folk because being old folk, time, like everything's 10 minutes ago, right? Like the year 2000 was yesterday. The 90s was a week ago. So, it does make that a little difficult. But no, I mean, the Andrew thing, again, so he's been stripped of everything, like, title-wise. The Americans are asking for him to come and speak. Was it Rokana that I was looking at earlier? I was actually looking for his quote, but I can't quite find it. I watched it earlier. For some reason, it's not coming up on my search. Right, but he was saying how Andrew himself does actually have to answer for a few things here. He has to come over and actually testify.
Yeah, I mean, he's got no protection anymore, has he? I think before he sort of was hiding behind the whole royal thing, and you probably can't. Well, you can, can't you? Obviously, judiciaries can request people to give evidence. There's no reason he couldn't do that. But I think now, certainly, if he wants to get himself out of any further doo-doo, he needs to assist. But by assisting, he's probably going to dig himself in deeper.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think Roe himself said did I say that the king needs to get over as well? Like, not just Andrew, the king actually needs to testify as well. Because he's rightfully pointing out what many of us are saying is, like, how can you not know what your brother is doing? Especially when your best buddy is bloody Jimmy Savile.
Yeah.
Like, you're really pushing people's ability to suspend disbelief, No,
totally.
It's kind of insane, to be honest. But that also, there was one other report actually that maybe I should bring up here before we go into the file pull. We'll find this very quickly for us here. It was on KOTA.
Right.
KOAT. Because this is something that's come up. And I think, if you may remember what I mentioned a while back. Okay, here we go. I've got this. So I'm sharing that with you.
Billions of pages of documents related to Jeffrey Epstein.
Hold on. Let's the public can see and hear this as well. But you remember? Oh, pardon me. Why is it? I keep doing that. Okay, right. Here we go. So, do you remember weeks back we were talking about? I said someone needs to get out in the New Mexico desert. You remember that? And I was talking about like the X-Files. We compared it to the X-Files and played. I think it may even be in a clip, in a shorter clip, on our channel, where I was going through the lore of the X-Files and again how that may, in the broader sense. I think it was when we were talking about the Disclosure advert from Spielberg for that Disclosure film.
Yeah.
And again, we were talking about how this is just a rehash of the X-Files storyline of like the aliens are already here and it's just about disclosure. Yeah. And I said then people need to go check out the New Mexico desert. Not like, I mean, I said it as a joke in one sense, but not for the aliens necessarily, but because of this that is now being reported off of the back of things that have come out in the files.
Billions of pages of documents related to Jeffrey Epstein, providing more information on the convicted sex offender's crimes. Among the files, claims bodies are buried near Epstein's Zorro Ranch in Santa Fe County. Tonight, the state land commissioner demanding an investigation.
I'm going to keep asking questions and keep poking around until I get an answer.
Those coming from an anonymous email in 2019 addressed to a local radio host.
Aaliyah Chavez.
Interesting, huh? Did you get that, yeah? Oops,
I have
Steve,
lost your audio.
You lost me, have you? You can't
Oh,
hear
there
me.
you go, you're back
There you
now.
go,
Yeah, you went really underwater then for a second.
Did you get that video there then? Yeah. Like,
Yes,
so
yeah.
This is why. And it's not just like I say. There's this email. They say there's an anonymous email to a radio show host.
Yes.
And how much can we believe that? This is the other reason we've got to be careful and cross-reference a lot of things. But this is also in relation to Zorro Ranch, which anyone out there that hasn't been following us and didn't know, and because we have covered this, Epstein had a ranch in New Mexico where he was trying to clone himself, basically, right?
Can you imagine? My God.
Well,
yeah.
Again, there's allegations surrounding the Kardashians that we may get a chance to just about touch on later. But yeah, I mean, again, it's going off the chain so quickly. With the fact that a lot of this stuff is now, like I say, 6 months later, conspiracy fact.
Yes.
It is a thing, I think they said it on Redacted again last night as well. I'll give them props for this term. I'm a conspiracy realist. Because it's not a theory now, it's becoming proven.
Yes, totally.
And how many people do you need to display the same patterns? How many people do you need to be stepping down or being prosecuted or whatever?
Yeah.
I mean, there's deeper things to this as well. Obviously, we're not fighting people here. We're fighting an ideology, and in some cases, some people are looking at it as a spiritual battle. Again, look at what we saw this week with the Winter Olympics. Did you see the opening for that?
Oh, come on.
Have you seen the actual
I'm never getting that time
Olympic
back
flame?
ever again. Yes.
I mean, I thought it was basically the Olympics from Timu, right?
Yeah, the flame that never goes out. It's just like a giant big lighter, isn't it? It's really
Let's see if I can
terrible.
get it.
It always makes me laugh. They're in aeroplanes with this thing. So one thing you don't want to have in a pressurised container is a lit torch.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
And
it was quite amusing in a I don't know, funny way.
Yeah, but if you remember the previous Olympics in France, right, and what we covered with that, and do you remember also,
oh my God,
we covered the Lilith celebration as well, didn't we? The celebration of Lilith in Paris. What the hell is this?
Jesus. Yes.
And I mean that in the literal sense. What the literal hell is this?
Yeah.
What do you see there, boy?
She was a person spread-eagled in the middle of this ball in some sort of a knot, and you could probably make many different symbols from this as well, couldn't you?
There
Very
is
symbolic.
one super identifiable symbol right in the middle of that, right? And again, you have to actually, at this point, I'm just going to straight up say, you have to be retarded to not see this. Because they made ultra effort to ensure that those particular lines at those particular angles were lit over and above all the rest of it. And what they claimed, and again this ties in more with Epstein and what his whole group and all their cult are on about, right? This was supposed to be an atom.
Really?
Yeah. And we're back to CERN again, right? And the particle accelerations and smashing the atoms, and again what a lot of people are saying is that there's a demonic nature to this. And again, there's a lot of things in my experience of look at what they've got, bloody Shiva outside CERN. And there's that video footage a few years ago that I pointed out back then, and even all the way up to now, of them doing a ritual outside in front of the statue of Shiva. If people are not aware, what is Shiva? The god of the destroyer of worlds, destruction and recreation, right? And again, we've been talking about the Mandela effect, right? And how I'm going to reiterate this. We're seeing a lot more examples of this. The more examples we see, I think we're getting closer to some sort of event, some sort of nexus event.
Yeah.
Where, I mean, there's been quotes in the Q files, which I pointed out QAnon, I always suggested to people that was actually AI generated commentary.
Yeah.
And there's suggestions in the Epstein files and beyond that may well have even been a Trump campaign, or people within Trump's administration or his campaign who did the whole QAnon thing, which makes absolute sense, right?
Totally,
and particularly because a lot of the strings that were being pumped out by QAnon were in formats that I can recognize as things that you would get out of an AI that is not necessarily passing to human readable text in the way that ChatGPT or something does. You know, this is all tied in, especially as we're going to see, because like I said, I pulled some threads. So I mean, I think I probably digressed and we've kind of preambled a bit here. I'm going to give us another little but I digress. But yeah, look, dude, there's something going on with this, right? There is something up with this. It's not just this one. It was the last Olympic, the Summer Olympics. They're trying to signal stuff here. They're showing symbolism.
Yeah.